Hi, I'm Tony Northrup, and for my Lightroom video training series, I'm here to talk about Lightroom Mobile. This is a cool feature / mobile app that synchronizes your pictures from Lightroom over to your iPhone or tablet, and hopefully soon your Android device. It's a great way to take a handful of pictures with you on the go. You wouldn't want to synchronize all your pictures, but if you want a collection of pictures that you can show off to your friends and family, or perhaps a presentation that you want to show as a professional to a potential client, as for example your portfolio, it's a great way to do it. So let's dig right into Lightroom. Now first, you're always going to want to work with a small subset of pictures, and I suggest making a collection before you do anything else. So let's just pick these first 6 pictures here, and I'll create a collection specifically for syncing. I'll call it LR Mobile, and I'll click Create. So now I have a collection with just those pictures in it. Now the first thing you want to do is actually sign in to Lightroom Mobile, and this is not obvious at all. They really hid it away, but click your plate up here, which might say Lightroom Mobile or something different, and then click Sign In. Now to do this, you need to have a Creative Cloud account. It's not available to people who just buy Lightroom flat out. I don't know why they do this. They make you sign up for Creative Cloud, and for that you have to have a paid subscription to it. The monthly version for just Lightroom and Photoshop is only $10 a month. It's not too bad. I'll go ahead and sign in here. And you can see Lightroom's even providing me a little bit of help here. Now, all you need to do is to mark a collection for synchronization, and then Lightroom should start taking care of everything else for you. So as you can see, it's saying create collections and mark them for sync by clicking the boxes on the left side of the panel. Once again, I don't see how they could have been less intuitive about this. I'll just close this tip here. And so this little checkbox here, we can click that. And then you see there's a little lightning bolt, which seems to mean synchronization. We can also right-click this and then select Sync with Lightroom Mobile, in case you just happen to forget what that is. In the status bar in the upper left, you can see it says Syncing 6 Photos. So we know that it's now communicating with the internet, talking to Adobe servers, and sending my pictures up to Adobe. From there, they can go back to your iPhone or tablet. If I click this link here, you can see this option here for Sync with Lightroom Mobile. If you want to turn off all synchronization of all your catalogs, you could click this off and turn it off, but I actually want it to synchronize, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that on. While that's synchronizing, I will open up the menus and show you a couple of options that you have with Lightroom. So I'm going to hit Shift F to reveal my menus, and then go to the Edit menu and Preferences. And in the last tab here, Lightroom Mobile, you can see you have the option to sign in and sign out if you're not signed in. That says sign in instead. You also have the option to delete all your data. I'll go ahead and click the More Account Info Online button, and we can check out the website and see what else it says. Now that I'm logged in, I'll click my account up here and then select under Assets, I'll select Photos. This will show me the photos that I've already synchronized. So by selecting the Lightroom Mobile catalog here that matches the collection name that I set, I can see my photos and even click on them and kind of browse through them. The play button will show you a quick slideshow, and you can see it's even showing you the title if you've assigned a title to a picture. You can click Escape to get out of it. The left arrow in the upper left corner takes you back to the main option. You can also share your pictures directly from the web interface. This is Adobe's icon for sharing. It looks like something flying out of a bucket. Click that and then click Sharing Options, and you can see right now everything is set to private by default. I can also set the permissions to limited public and give access to more people who might want to see it. This allows me to copy this link here and stick it on Facebook if I feel like it. So we can go ahead and turn on Facebook sharing. I'll just click that and it will log me in, and then I'll click Share Link. And now if I head over to my Facebook page, we can see that it did indeed share a link, and now people can get to it. So besides just syncing to your mobile phone, it's also a good way to share pictures on the web. Well, it's not a great way, but it is a way. I'll say it's not a great way because I'd rather upload the pictures directly into Facebook. Facebook integrates much better. It's more usable for mobile phones. It'll make a little album for you, and people can comment on the individual pictures. With this, it's one link that just goes right here, and then like there's no commenting, there's no likes. It just kind of takes you to their own website. So We established that as possible, but not necessarily the best way to share pictures or albums. It's not something I would ever do. In fact, while I'm here, I'm just going to delete this. Heading back into Lightroom, I want to show one more option here: prevent system sleep during sync. This means if you actually want your pictures to get into the cloud, it can take a while. And your system, if you're not using it, will eventually go into sleep, or you might close the lid on a laptop, which would cause it to go to sleep and save power. But if it's sleeping, it's not synchronizing pictures. So if you don't want your computer to go to sleep, select that checkbox and it will stop it from sleeping so that synchronization can continue. This might burn more batteries and will certainly use more power. So turn that off if it's more important for you to save power than to finish the synchronization. I will also show you how to get to those same links directly from Lightroom, even though I just told you it's not great to do it. You can right-click your collection and then hover over the Lightroom Mobile Links menu to view a set of options related to sharing on the web. I just made this public, which is why it's providing me public link options. The default, of course, is to make it private. So I'll select Make Collection Private to make it once again private. And now it's communicating with Adobe and letting Adobe know that that option should now be private. And as you can see, the links and viewing on the web menu items are now disabled. I won't be able to select them. You can still view the link on the web, and it's going to open up that same page. If I weren't already logged in, it would have had me log in. Synchronization can take a long time. And getting the photos actually synced onto your phone or tablet can take a really, really long time. Sometimes it's very, very slow. It might take 30 seconds to get a single picture synced. It might take several minutes. I made the mistake of syncing a fairly big catalog with more than 100 pictures, and everything just blew up. Now I simply can't use Lightroom Mobile on that particular phone, so I had to borrow my producer Justin's phone. He does have Lightroom Mobile with some of his pictures on it, and we'll go through and see how that actually works. But I just kind of want to caution you to be prepared. Know that it's going to take some time. If you put your phone down, if you don't use it for a few minutes and your phone goes to sleep like it is now with a black screen, it stops syncing. So you have to kind of keep your phone awake. You might need to go into the settings and make sure it doesn't automatically shut off, because when it does shut off, the phone stops Lightroom Mobile from continuing to pull data down. In other words, if you really want to share your pictures, you need to prepare ahead of time. Give it some time to sync and kind of stand over your phone and make sure it's actually syncing. Don't close the app. Don't switch over to other apps. Just kind of leave it running. It's not especially convenient in that way. But let's take a look and actually switch over to the Lightroom Mobile app. So I'll log in here and open up Lightroom Mobile. You can see that Justin has synchronized a collection called Proofs from Desktop. So as I open that, it's going to give kind of a nice display of all the pictures that he has on there, and I can easily scroll through them. I can also touch a picture to zoom right into it and do the usual push and pull to see more detail and easily flip through the different pictures. Of course, it supports rotating. I'll go back into the vertical orientation here, and you can see some options down here at the bottom. This one on the left shows you the number of stars that the picture has, but if you touch it, you can also see how you can quickly review pictures. And they're suggesting that you drag your finger up and down to pick a flag or change the number of stars. So, oh, there we go. So by doing that, I can mark it as a pick, and that'll get synchronized back into Lightroom. Now, if I have the star selected, I can actually slide it up and down to select the number of stars. It's a little clumsy. We'll call that one 4 stars. So touching the star down here switches it to a flag, which allows me to pick or unpick it. And touching it again shows a star. I don't know why they don't fit both a flag and a star on there. There's also some basic settings that you can change. Let's switch back to a bigger picture. I'll touch this, and in a moment, after it thinks for a bit, it's going to bring up a variety of settings that allow me to change, say, the white balance, the color temperature, and the tint. So now I can select that and choose a different white balance. You can actually do some tweaking on it. I'll select a custom white balance here. So I'll zoom in tight on the part of the picture that I want to set the white balance from, and I'll select this, and then I'll select the selector, and now I can move this around a little bit and kind of put it wherever I want the white balance to be. You can see a little circle right in the middle there that tells me what part of the picture it's going to white balance from. So I'll click the checkbox, And that did actually change the color temperature a little bit. And because it's a white bird, it probably is a more accurate color temperature. You can see now the temperature is set to +12. So from here, I can also set the tint. There we go. Really messed up Justin's picture now. I'll select the second set of settings down here, and these provide more creative filters, kind of the Instagram-y thing that we used to do. So we could turn this into a sepia picture, or select a variety of other options down here. For example, the second item here has options for adding punch to it. Punch, punch. Now you'll notice this is all kind of slow and painful, right? It really is. This is an iPhone 5. There's an iPhone 6 now, and it might be a little bit faster, but it's just kind of a slow and cumbersome app. I can't say it's a whole lot of fun to use. There's also a variety of options for black and white. Now, once you've turned your work of art into a terrible Instagram picture, it's fairly easy to share. Once again, we see the bucket with the up arrow up here, and this gives me the option to share it, remove it, start a slideshow by selecting play from here, or open it in a different app. So I can select share here, and it renders the picture with your changes, and finally gives you the option to add it to Twitter, email, or send it in a message. Whatever the share options that you've configured, it'll have listed there. This third box down here allows you to crop the picture. That's right, crop it like it's hot. We want you to double tap to reset the crop. And if you decide to undo your changes, because I've done such a terrible job here, you can click this button here, and that will undo the change, and you can continue to move through and undo all of the work that you've done. Now, if you do want to start a slideshow, select a picture, whatever picture you want to start with, then select the bucket and select play from here. And Lightroom will kind of render it and then fade between different pictures. Now, you might want to do this before you actually show it to somebody, because Lightroom can be a little slow. Oh, there we go. It's kind of waiting and waiting while it gets the next picture ready. And certainly if you're trying to make a good presentation with a slideshow, that's not the best effect. You can just touch it to stop the slideshow and then press the X to make it stop. There are a couple of options that you can configure. I'll go all the way back to the menu here and then select the Lightroom option. Sync only over Wi-Fi. It's an important option that many of you are going to want to leave on. If you find your data carrier is charging you for data, if you don't have an unlimited data plan, most of us don't, you'll want to turn that on, because these pictures can be really big and they can consume a lot of your data, and then you'll end up paying for it. That sucks. If you turn on presentation mode, I'll just show this to you. This is only going to be meaningful if you've connected it to an external port, like if you've hooked this up to a TV so you can see the pictures. It gives you a red pointer. You can kind of see it under my finger there. You might want to say, hey, this is the beak of a robin. This is a robin here. And I guess that red dot could be useful in that scenario. So I'll back up a little bit, turn presentation mode off, and then collect usage data. That's just an option that sends some information back to Lightroom, to Adobe, about how you use the app. And that's about all you can do in the Lightroom mobile app. It's not the greatest app in the world. We hope to see some updates that will improve the functionality. But in the meantime, it does integrate well with Lightroom, and it is a useful app to have in your repertoire. So that about wraps up what you can do with Lightroom Mobile. Thanks Adobe for making that app. Again, it's only available to those who are participating in the Creative Cloud. If you're not in Creative Cloud, I wouldn't rush out to pay for it, not until they make some more improvements to it. But for those of us who are in Creative Cloud, it's an easy way to take your pictures with you without too much work. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to write me an email at tony@northrup.org, and thanks so much for watching.